ค่ะ very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nabunag.
And I'm Hatay Shakitiranan. Good evening. And we do hope you had a great weekend. Let's now kickstart the program tonight with some COVID updates. All of Thailand's senators, MPs, and parliamentary officials are being subjected to COVID-19 screening with rapid antigen test kits before being allowed into the parliament building from this morning onwards after a senator who attended a parliamentary meeting on September 10 tested positive for the virus. Senator Apishat Todilokwet, who is currently undergoing treatment, attended Senate meetings in the joint sitting of the Senate and House during that period, and the vote on the constitutional amendments draft in its third and final reading as well. Health officials from the medical office of the Senate screened all the senators and parliamentary officials as they arrived at the Parliament building this morning. However, test results are not yet available at this time, and the Parliament building has also been disinfected. It is also reported that besides the senator, two officials working in the office of the Secretariat of the Senate were also found to be infected with COVID-19 on September 10th as well. And according to the Senate, the cumulative infections among senators and officials of the Secretariat since April this year are 36. 28 of whom already have recovered, while 7 are still undergoing treatment and 1 is awaiting treatment. Regarding the House of Representatives, 81 MPs and officials have been infected since April as well.
Meanwhile, Thailand recorded 12,583 new COVID-19 cases, as well as 132 more deaths today. Currently, around 132,000 people across the country are undergoing treatment, which is a drop from more than 200,000 cases reported last month.
And as you can see, the COVID situation, judging by the CCSA figures, seem to be easing a little bit now with declining new cases and deaths reported each day. For example, deaths are now below 200 a day. The number of all people being treated is also dropping, and new cases are now below 15,000 a day.
Right. Although it looks like the COVID-19 situation in Thailand is improving, but there's still a spread of COVID-19 in the parliament as well as many other venues. So that means we still need to remain vigilant, especially with the easing of the partial lockdown measures. So that means we still need to keep our guards up so there won't be a rebound in infections again. Exactly. And still with COVID-19 infections, the medical sciences department is asking people to give feedback whether they have any side effects after they have recovered from COVID-19. The Medical Sciences Department has set up a survey to collect information from those who have been recovered from COVID-19 to see if there are any long-term effects on people's health. So the survey can be found on the website. However, the survey is only provided in Thai at the moment. The survey gathers information on the symptoms that people experience after being recovered from COVID-19. That includes the severity of such symptoms as well. And the information will be used to handle COVID-19 patients with other health complications. Those who can participate in the survey are those who recover from the disease for at least 4 weeks. As for the most common long-term symptoms among recovered COVID-19 patients are fatigue and coughing, which will occur in 1 out of 5 patients. Some patients may experience some COVID-19 symptoms after 12 weeks, headaches in severe patients that received late treatment, as well as damage to the lungs. Also, COVID-19 may increase the severity of underlying diseases such as heart diseases, kidney, and brain damage. Previously, Dr. Thirawat Hemachutta revealed back in March that many patients who recovered from COVID-19 may experience long-term symptoms, which can be split into 3 phases. So for the first phase would be around 4 weeks. 4 to 12 weeks in the second phase, and the third phase will be longer than 12 weeks. Meanwhile, the CCSA spokesperson, Dr. Tawisin Wisnuyotin, said today that more than 84% of COVID-19 fatalities are those who were not vaccinated yet.
Right. That's definitely telling, Kanan. And speaking of the slow vaccine rollout, the drive is being sped up a little bit more. So far, more than 40 million vaccine doses have been administered, and 27.3 million people, or just over 20% of the entire population, got the first doses only. 12.35 million people, or about 17.7% of the population, now got 2 doses. While about 615,000 people, or 8.8%, got their third booster shots. And the first lot of Pfizer vaccine, which will be 2 million doses out of 30 million ordered, will arrive in Thailand on September 29. So actually 2 weeks to go for youths aged 12 and over. Those getting 2 Sinovac jabs will get an AstraZeneca booster from early October, while those getting 2 AstraZeneca jabs won't need a booster for now. This is according to Public Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul. So it's quite clear that vaccination is very important here, and also judging by a very small number of people getting their booster shots now, it's also quite clear we're running out of the Pfizer vaccine that was donated by the U.S. government. So we are expecting to see acceleration of the campaign once more arrives.
Right. And well, there's still a long way to go to get the entire population fully vaccinated against COVID-19. But at least the government is trying really hard to speed up the mass inoculations, especially with the plan to vaccinate students as well.
Moving on to politics, protests are being held almost daily, including yesterday. And as we mentioned before, there are separate groups, the peaceful ones engaging in car mob rallies, while the hardcore one with explosive are still clashing with crowd control police at Dindang intersection. So late last night, there was a video clip shared on social media that shows a police truck crashing into a protester, which sent him flying with about 20 meters away, and the vehicle just moved on without helping him. Bangkok's Metropolitan Police Bureau, or MPB, held a press briefing earlier today to defend themselves and that the accident was not a hit and run or intentional. In the video, police truck had hit a tear gas protester and then fled the scene at Dindang intersection during a protest last night. The Commissioner Police, Lieutenant General Pakapong Pongpektra, said that a police lance corporal driving the truck was heading back to a police station. The sound of explosions was being heard periodically at the time, and a group of about 7 protesters suddenly dashed onto the road, forcing the officer to brake aggressively and suddenly, but the van hit one of the protesters. And according to the police officer's statement, the victim managed to stand up and fled the scene. So he sped away in the truck for fear that he might be attacked if he had stopped. And Police Lieutenant General Pakapong insisted that the driver did not do this deliberately, especially driving into a small group of protesters as alleged, and hence his action is not constituting a hit-and-run incident. He also said that the officer subsequently filed a complaint with Dindang police, accusing the protesters of attacking the police truck and attempting to assault him, but added still that the accident victim can also file a complaint with the police as well. So the police commissioner maintained that his officers had been trying to maintain peace and order at the intersection by setting up roadblocks to check passing cars and motorcycles, but their efforts were constantly challenged by the protesters. He also said the protesters have become even more violent now, citing the arrest last night also of a protester in possession of a loaded pistol.
And according to Police Major General Biyata Wichai, the Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Bureau, the hardcore taluk gas protesters continued their violent protests on Sunday night, hurling firecrackers, flares, and cherry bombs at the Royal Thai Army Band Department on Wipawadi Ramsit Road, forcing police to respond with water cannons, but to limited effect. He alleged that some of the protesters burned used tires in front of the Thai-Japanese sports stadium and blocked the road, completely obstructing traffic flow in the area. Moreover, he alleged that some protesters had scattered spikes on the road to prevent cars from using the Dindang underpass. Despite repeated warnings from the police, the protesters refused to disperse and carried on with their protests until after the curfew hours. Well, it looks like the protests have been intensifying recently, especially with the hardcore protesters and police confronting with each other a lot. But regardless of who started the violence, nobody wants to see any more people getting hurt.
Exactly. Violence is never the answer, but as protests drag on, hatred seems to have built up on both sides, unfortunately. So it's going to be this kind of scene we'll keep seeing. But on the plus side, the one who got hit seems to actually be okay, like getting up and running. So hopefully no serious conditions popping up after.
And we'll end the program with some entertainment news. And it's something that we still cannot get over with, which is Lisa's new music video, La Lisa, which gained over 120 million views on YouTube already. Not only that, many Thai elements in the video have also been praised from a lot of viewers. And recently, the Ministry of Culture also praised Lisa's music video for helping to promote elements of Thai culture. And in this music video, if you haven't seen it, Lalisa Manoban of Blackpink is seen in a golden Thai dress with an elaborate headdress sitting on a throne in front of a replica of Phnom Rong Historical Park, a landmark in Lisa's hometown of Buriram in the northeastern part of Thailand. And the designer who's behind the golden dress is Polapat Asawaprapa, who's better known as Mo Asawa, while Prapakat Angsu Singh is behind the headdress as well. The Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Culture, Prasop Briangun, praised Lisa and the designers behind the Thai costume for using creativity to enhance Thai culture through fashion, which helps it gain more recognition on the international stage. Meanwhile, Dr. Surat Jongda, the acting vice president of the Bandit Pathanasin Institute, explained that the headdress that Lisa wore in the video is called Rat Klao Yot, which has been used in cultural performances since the Ayutthaya era. These days, this type of headdress is used in various kinds of performances as well. But the main difference between Chada, with which the Thai people are more familiar with and was initially thought to be used in the video, and the Rat Klao Yot in Thai traditional dance is that the Chada are used for male actors, while Rat Klao Yot are for female actors, where flowers are also attached on it as well. And since the release of Lisa's new music video, the Thai headdress has become extremely popular, with some shops seeing a 10% increase in their income.
And the release of the highly anticipated video last Friday did not come without some drama, as some Cambodian netizens are saying that the replica of the Khmer castle, which was featured in the video, is part of Khmer culture and that Lisa was promoting it, while the Thai netizens are not really happy with such a claim, saying that while it is true there are several Khmer-influenced temples and Khmer ruins in Thailand, it has been such a long time now and they belong in the Thai soil, and that Lisa simply wanted to show off her hometown. Another social drama revolves around Thai TV host and actor Kachapa Tanjaron, better known as Moddam, who, while trying to praise Lisa and her work, appeared to denigrate other South Korean-based Thai K-pop artists such as Bam Bam, Kanpimuk Puwagun, and Nishakun Honwetgun in the process. Moddam has since apologized to them following a backlash. And actually, this takes some people by surprise that the Thai authorities now seem to be adapting to modern times. Some were even expecting the ministry and some conservatives to come out and say maybe the costume is a bit too short or revealing, and that the way she dances doesn't really fit the rigid ladylike mannerisms. So actually, that didn't happen, and kudos to both our girl and the ministry.
Exactly, and the dress looks amazing on her as well. And there have been many times where Thai costumes have been adapted into pop music, but Lisa's video definitely took it to the very next level. So kudos to Lisa as well as the designers Muasawa and Prapakat as well.
Right. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Thai PBS World tonight. But do catch us like this every weekday at 7 p.m. for all the top stories and explainers.
And don't forget to follow us on social media as well as our website, thaipbsworld.com, for the latest updates as well as analyses. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ